playing a Florida State team that beat Georgia, beat LSU. Just what do you take away from what they're doing right now?
Yeah, they're playing awfully well. They're playing hard for the coach, playing for your old school, and it's just to us, it's another great team that we get the opportunity to play. We're just so excited to get up there, and hopefully we'll play as well as we did the game 1 and game 3. If we do that, we have a chance to play with anybody that's there. So, I think the guys are excited. They've kind of calmed down from the celebration of winning. Now our focus is to get ready for Florida State.
They're a very patient team at the plate.
Yep.
6, I think, in walks in the NCAA. I talked to Isaiah a little bit about the discipline he's going to have.
There's some teams in our league that have the same philosophy, and when they face Isaiah, they have to change their philosophy a little bit if he's doing what he can do, because he throws strikes. We've looked at that. We're all about throwing the ball over the plate early in the count and making him swing. And this is going to be a great matchup. I'm still waiting to find out who they're throwing.
What are your pitching plans? I mean, I assume Isaiah's going to start game 1.
That'd be it. That's about all I can tell you. Just Isaiah will go game 1. We'll use anybody and everybody after that to try to win that ball game, and then go from there.
Connor and Patrick had really good freshman seasons, but they both had short outings in the Super Regional. How do you feel about bounce back?
Oh, I think they'll do fine. A lot of times it's about matchups. They've been through that stress now a little bit of, just playing a Super Regional of what was on the line. Once you get up here, to me, it's now just about playing well, relax a little bit, and hopefully they've gotten over that hurdle.
How's your demeanor changed over the years, and how loose you've kind of taken the approach with this year?
Well, I think that I've always been a lot looser once we get to postseason. I know during the season it's such a grind for these guys. You got to remember they're 18 to 23 years old, a lot going on in their lives, from obviously academic side, social side, just trying to keep them focused. A lot of times it's about keeping them focused. Once we get to this part of the season, I don't feel like I have to keep them focused. They should be focused. They're excited about being here. School's out. A little less maybe for us to really be concerned about, but we know that our guys are hooked up and ready to go every day at this time of year. And for me personally, it's just about enjoying it and watching these guys play. We wouldn't be in this position if we weren't a pretty good team.
This is your 10th trip, overall 8th as a head coach, 10th overall, 8 of the 10 that Arkansas have. You been there. Just the experience of being able to be a part of that.
It's really unique. Like I said the other day, it's really hard to get there. For us to go this much back-to-back is really special. Probably just set in for me just last night, to be honest with you. It's been so busy, but just the thrill of watching the guys celebrate on the field. There's only 8 teams that get to celebrate like that. And then when you go to Omaha, only 1 team celebrates, so 7 leave disappointed. So really, for the most part, except for 1 team, that's the biggest out of the year when you get that last out to get a chance to go to Omaha and compete. I don't know. It's something special. It's different every year, but it's the same as far as it's just such a goal that's reached. It's incredible feeling.
Not only did you only have 3 position players back, but 2 of those guys moved to different spots. So Fletcher's your only guy playing the same spot as last year's team. I mean, how amazing does that make? Even more amazing what you guys have done.
Well, a couple guys moved around a little bit, but they're still on the field. It's just a great team effort. It's all worked out. We had just enough, and some days more than enough, and we've had a great job by our designated hitter. We had a transfer come in here and have an incredible season for us. It needed a little bit of leadership in Trevor Ezell with just his experience at Division I level. I don't know. I don't see it as amazing. I just see it as a bunch of guys, playing baseball in wherever position they're at, or once they got in the lineup, they just played hard and they believed in themselves. And as a group, we were pretty good.
With that many new faces, what is your message to them about what to expect in Omaha? How to help them make that transition into the bright lights in the bigger city?
Well, they'll have to experience a little bit. We can talk about it as much as we want, and they still have to kind of witness it and be a part of it to understand what they're getting into. But we played in some big stages. Even though, we hold 11,000, it's full, they're on top of you, it can feel like 25,000. So I don't think it's a huge difference. Our stadium is awful loud when it's rolling. So Florida State played at LSU last weekend. It doesn't get any louder than that place, so I don't think it's going to faze them at all either. You just let them experience, and hopefully they can handle it.
I know it's a different year, but you played Florida State, beat them here, beat them there to get to Omaha. What do you remember about those experiences in the past against Mike Martin?
Well, the teams were always so solid. When we won here in 2004, they had a couple of first rounders. Their pitching, I remember their pitching was a little banged up, and it helped us a little bit, and we scored just enough runs to beat them. Game 1 was close, Game 2 was close. I think they were both two or three run games. Great experience. And then, at Florida State in 2009, we were just really hot offensively. That's when we struggled at the end of the year, got in a regional, and it took us to the 8th inning of Game 1. We were losing, and then we just exploded. And we just hit the rest of the weekend. We went to Florida State, held us down a few innings, and then we got after it pretty good. And, then the second game there, to go to Omaha, we let a lead slip away, and then we got it back in the bottom of the 9th. We scored a couple runs to win that one. I just remember, I felt like I was playing an SEC team, just another team in the league. Just big, physical, fast, great arms, and a lot of guys that, they just weren't scared. You could just tell. It was just good baseball.
Trevor's really been on a tear in the postseason. I think he's hitting about 600. He's been good all year, but he's really been good lately.
I don't know what to tell you on that. I mean, it's good to see it. You got to have guys step it up this time of year, because there's always going to be a couple guys in your lineup that it doesn't go well. And just like the first 2 games, Heston didn't do a whole lot. Some other guys did pretty well. Yesterday did a great job. Opitz did a great job yesterday. Nesbitt had a pretty good game defensively and getting the big hit down the line. That's just the way the game works. I just think that he's locked in every day. Some days it doesn't go as well as others. It's just the way it is. Sometimes it's about matchups. Some guys just have your number. You don't like what you're seeing. Some days it's the ball looks as big as a softball and you just hit it. So he's just been swinging it good.
How differently did Kjerstad and Martin get pitched to this year, coming off great pressure?
What I saw this year, I saw probably more towards the end of the year last year, pitching him backwards. I mean, I can tell you everything. Heston knows how they're going to pitch him. They're going to start away and try to finish him in. They're going to try to finish him up hard, get him to chase down and away, try to frustrate him. Martin, it's been a little bit more inside this year. Last year they were scared to come in. This year they know he's looking out over the plate a little more, and they're coming in. Still about the same mix, though, of off-speed pitches. And, I think they both handled it pretty well. As far as having guys around them that can hit, I don't feel like that they were able to pitch around him because we had good hitters, behind those guys. So it's kind of the same feel there.
There's more SEC teams there, but you're on the other side. They're all on the other side of the bracket. How do you feel about that?
Well, once we get here, it is what it is. We've been playing SEC teams, for 16 weeks, it seems like to me, like the whole season. When you get into the tournament, then you have to play one in a super regional, 4 more up there. The only one on our side of the bracket, there's not one on our side of the bracket, so we've got to win our bracket if we have an opportunity to play another one. And the odds are that an SEC team's going to come out of the other side. So I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just glad we're playing.
Hey Dave, I think last year at the end of the Oregon State series, you said something along the lines of, I think we're going to get back here and win this someday. What gives you the confidence that you'll be able to do that?
Well, I'm confident that we can get the right players in here and they'll develop, and they want to get back and compete for a championship. I mean, that's kind of what we talk about when we recruit kids, and even throw out, hey, if that's not what you're looking for, this probably wouldn't be the spot for you in a lot of cases. So, I didn't know we'd get back this year, but I feel like every time we go, we're going to compete to win one, and one day we'll get it.
What do you remember about 85 and 87 being a GA and those 2 trips and each team winning 50-plus games, and just the experience you had that's kind of helped maybe get you to where you are?
Yeah, I remember the 85. That was my first year coaching, and I can remember the very first series we went to in 85. We went on the road to Miami, and they beat us 3 close games, and they were really good. And I remember talking to Coach Frazier or hearing him talk to Coach DeBryan saying, you guys are really good. You haven't practiced hardly. The weather had been bad in Fayetteville. We go all the way to Miami, and next thing you know, we're both at the College World Series, 3 or 4 months later. I was pretty much hooked that I was going to be a Division I baseball coach. I can tell you that. In 87, yeah, I wish it was 07. In 87, it would have been, that that was a team that wasn't expected to do a whole lot, and it just won. And I'll never forget it because we didn't know how good we were, and we had some guys have a good year, and we fought our way back. But you know, it's a different venue now, a lot more people, a lot more interest, but it's still the same thing. You're down to the final 8, and it's awfully exciting for the team.